Hello ladies and gents, my name is Buddy and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We are here for the February pay-per-view. We are here for the Wrestling Classic. We are in the Meccan Auditorium. We are here for a huge show tonight. We have the rematch from December between Island Boy Apollo and Giant Brody for the Mid-Atlantic Regional Heavyweight Championship. Will Island Boy Apollo climb that mountain and slay that giant and reclaim his Mid-Atlantic Regional Heavyweight Championship, or will Giant Brody continue his dominance that has been characteristic of his appearances here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling over the last couple of months? Find out in our main event of the evening. Also, the fallout from the Ripcord Invitational 2018 between where George Wolf became the 2018 champion of that tournament, and Ernest Youngman was destroyed in the semifinals by Scythe. Ernest won by disqualification, but the injury sustained by Ernest in that match led to him probably losing the final. So, let's take a look at that fallout. Let's take a look at a lot more tonight in the Meccan Auditorium. Before we start, I wanted to show you guys an email that I got. Hugh to Ask is on tour with Pride, as he usually does at this time of year. But George Wolf, our 2018 Ripcord Invitational winner, has gotten a touring contract with Pride. And to me, that's so good to see. I don't know if you guys have seen George over the last, like, this is pulling back the kayfabe curtain. I don't know if you guys have seen George like get really big deals over the years, but for me, I've never really seen George do that well. And even in my previous MAW games, I often just had him phased out after a couple of years. But I really wanted to get behind George in this series and give him an opportunity to shine. And seeing him get a touring contract with Pride is incredibly good feeling for me, because that's just something I never expected to see from him. And it's awesome, because the whole point of this company is to develop people and send them off to bigger and better things. So it's cool to see that he's on his way, even though he's not gone yet, of course, nowhere near it. Hugh's been touring there for years. But it'll make him a better wrestler. He'll come back and he'll be so much better, because he'll be fighting against really good wrestlers that we just can't offer him. So it's cool to see. He's not going anywhere. The tour dates are on Fridays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays, I think, which means we're probably going to have to run Saturday shows from now on, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's get into the Wrestling Classic, shall we? We start off the show, and in the interview area are the former Confederation of the Territories Tag Team World Heavyweight Champions, the Ring Generals, and Marvelous Marv gets on the mic and he says, "We've been here before. You know who we are, but you might not know why we're here. We are here because Boss Man Brayfield finally plucked up the courage, got those tiny shriveled up grapefruits of his, and picked up the phone for the greatest tag team in the history of the territories." Now, we don't want to have an ego about this. We've taken a lesson from Ernest Youngman in that regard. But we are some of the greatest grapplers you have ever seen in these damn territories. And we are back in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and we are here full time. That's right, since we lost the Confederation of the Territories World's Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, we have been looking for a new challenge, new horizons and new dawns, and we thought, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling is one of the only places on this planet where we haven't won the tag team titles. And, we came oh so close in 2016, we came oh so close, and we've already pinned the Dynamite Express. So we came back here, and now we want our shot, and we're bringing back here not only the greatest tag team in the history of the territories, but also a style of tag team wrestling that Mid-Atlantic Wrestling hasn't cottoned onto yet. That's right, because when we're here, we are bringing with us the Coastal Zone Tag Team Match. Now, for those of you who have not seen the Coastal Zone Tag Team Match, it is an extraordinary thing. It is a 3-match process. It is basically a best 2 out of 3 falls match. However, it is segmented into 3 separate matches. Each of the 2 members of the tag team will split off and have a singles match with a member of the other tag team. And then if the scores are even after the 2 singles matches, a tag team match occurs. So we wanted to test that concept out tonight, and we're going to be taking on the team that debuted last month, Devil May Care. So the Ring Generals are here, and they're bringing with them the Coastal Zone Tag Team Match, which is essentially a best 2 out of 3 falls match, where there are 2 singles matches between the 2 tag teams, and if the scores are still level after those 2 matches, then they head into a tag team match. It's something that debuted in a diary I think, a couple of years ago, back in like 2010, I think it was. TEW2010, that is. And it ended up... it's a really good way to save money, for one thing, because obviously you're getting 3 matches and like 30-40 minutes worth of content out of 4 guys. And also, in the indies, you don't get to use tag teams that often because it's 1 match with 4 guys in it. So being able to have 3 matches with 4 guys in it is a really good thing. And also, it's just fun. It's fun to have that kind of match, and it's part of TEW folklore now. So I wanted to bring it here to MAW. But after the ring generals leave, Ernest Youngman comes out and he says, "You know, I like to think of myself as the best wrestler wherever I go. I like to think of myself as the best person to have walked through that door, that MAW door, and come in here because I am the assassin of the squared circle and I got a mind for this business, and every step I take in that ring is like a mini victory. It's orgasmic. I love professional wrestling and I love professional wrestlers. But you know, I had a bad night last month. I had a bad night. I got crushed. I got loopy. I got a broken nose and I still competed because that's what I do. I wrestle. But you know, it kind of stuck in my craw a little that the reason why I lost last month was because I went in injured. I went in injured because a guy who did something so heinous as to get us disqualified from the tournament targeted me. So you know what, Scythe, I want a match tonight. I want a match against you tonight. And this time I'm going to prove to you that when you're not talking bullshit and you're not doing bullshit, I can still beat you because I'm the best that there ever has been." And we start off the show with the first match in the Coastal Zone Tag Team match as Stuntman defeats Dean Waldorf, making it 1-0 to Devil May Care. Not a great debut there for Dean Waldorf as he loses to Stuntman's reckless, hostile style with that big 450-degree splash, just putting his body on the line. Dean's trying to get that brawling in, trying to grapple him down. Deadly Dean, master of the submission hold, trying to grapple, maybe clip a wing of Stuntman, ground him a little, but Stuntman doesn't care. Stuntman doesn't give Dean a moment to breathe. It's just big move after big move, out to the outside, jump over the top rope, big moonsault from the top rope, drop kick from the apron, just anything he can throw at Dean. And Dean just can't get a rhythm in, and Stuntman manages to pick up the win. Vinny Cruz comes out to the interview area with Scythe, and he says, "You know, I kind of find it insulting that Ernest Youngman thinks that Scythe did what he did on purpose. Scythe's just aggressive, you know, and these rules, these confines, they keep Scythe too bound for him to really shine. But I've had a word with Scythe tonight. I've made sure he's calmed down. I've told him to savor his food this time, because he got a little overzealous last month and it cost him, but he don't care. But you know, I've told him that he can go out there and he can have a short, destructive match where he gets disqualified but he inflicts pain. Or he could take his time, savor you a little bit. And I think he knows which one inflicts the most pain. So don't worry, Ernest. I don't think Scythe's going to get disqualified tonight." And he just laughs and walks off. As we move into the second part of the singles component of the Coastal Zone Tag Team match, as Acid 2 is defeated by Marv Stadler with that backbreaker. Acid 2 does the same thing Stuntman does, just non-stop, breathtaking, reckless action. By the way, we're in a filled, packed, capacity crowd here at the Meccan Auditorium. But yeah, just absolute daredevil stunts. We have a balcony here at the Meccan Auditorium, and for a second there it looked like Acid was going to jump off of it. But he didn't. He didn't jump off it, luckily. We didn't go that far. But it's a crazy sprint match where Marv actually, unlike Dean, he doesn't need that slow moment to breathe to lock in those deadly submission moves, because Marv's all about those throws and those suplexes. Marv just goes with it. He catches Acid with a big throw or a big German, maybe a belly to belly, and Marv is able to keep up the pace. He goes just as fast as Acid, just instead of high flying maneuvers and reckless high risk stuff, he just does quick throws and big technical maneuvers. So yep, Marv Sadler picks up the victory, making it 1-1 in the Coastal Zone Tag Team match. So backstage, Boss Man walks up to a guy that, you know, obviously hasn't been shown on MAW before, and he says, Hey, you're Kamikaze, right? Yeah, good to see you, man. Sure, so you talk to me about wanting a contract, and I'm always one for opportunities. So tonight I'm gonna have you debut against the Ripcord Invitational Challenge winner, George Wolf. Big opportunity for you, I'm sure. I'm sure it's the biggest match of your career. And if you can win, you got yourself a contract. Kama looks him up and down and says, it's going to be a difficult match. George Wolf, Ripcord Invitational Challenge winner, one of the greatest competitors in the business today. I know I'm not favored, but I do think it's a good opportunity, and I'll go out there and I'll put my body on the line, because that's something I do. I've been up and down this industry, and I know what my strength is, and that is throwing caution to the wind and just doing what feels natural. And I think that if I fight hard enough, if I've got that passion, that instinct, then I think I can do anything. So tonight I will put my body on the line, and no matter what body parts I end up losing, I will end up with a contract. And Ernest Youngman is defeated once again by Scythe with an underworld spike in a great wrestling match. Decent reaction from the crowd. Scythe defeats Ernest Youngman in 18 minutes and 17 seconds by pinfall with an underworld spike. Sensational match. Best match we've ever seen in this series. Ernest Youngman continues to impress with that charismatic grappling style. He was at his best tonight. This was peak Ernest Youngman. Quick grappling, wink to the crowd, charismatic, everything you want from Ernest Youngman. But in the end, Scythe just has too much power to be kept down, too much power to be dominated, and Scythe does indeed pick up the victory, continuing his impressive couple of months in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. After the match, Ernest is dejected. He's sad. And he gets on the mic, and he heads back into the ring, and he says, I like to think I'm the best. I've always called myself the wrestling machine, the best there's ever been, the assassin of the squared circle, the master. But I've been shown a harsh reality over the last couple of months, and I don't let it get to me. I don't have enough of an ego for it to be shattered like that. But sometimes you realize things about yourself that you didn't know before. And, I thought last month I got beat by George Wolf. I thought I made an excuse, and that wasn't right. I said it was because I went in hurt, but it was actually because he was better than me. And tonight I lost to Scythe, clean, fair, and square. It's not because I came in hurt. It's because he was better than me. So it's time for a journey. I haven't seen a lot of this country. I've been a couple places, and I had a hiatus last year. I came back. The guys who were willing to take a punt on me was Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and I'm very appreciative of that. And this is my home, and I will be back. But when I come back, I will come back a different Ernest Youngman, because I'm going on a journey. I'm going to take a couple months, and I'm going to travel these damn territories, and I'm going to see the best this place has to offer, because quite frankly, it's not me. I need to find the best, and I need to fight them, and I need to see what makes them tick. And at the end of it all, I think I need to take a little bit of a trip down to Puerto Rico, and I think I need to have a chat with a particular champion of the world. So I'd like to thank you all for supporting me over the last couple months, and you will see me again, sooner rather than later. But you will see a very different Ernest Youngman when I return. And Ernest Youngman heads off into the sunset for a bit of a journey. Best wrestler we've probably seen in this company since the series began, and he's off for a bit. Hopefully he doesn't. He's not long. Hopefully he comes back soon. As we move into Kamikaze's debut match, as he does indeed throw caution to the wind, he just throws himself at George Wolf. Reckless. Just every move under the sun. Similar to what we saw earlier with Acid 2 and Stuntman, but probably even more. Just reckless, like through the announcer's table, into the crowd, back, like high fly flow off the top rope, into the crowd, just nonsense maneuvers from Kamikaze, just willing to do anything to earn this contract, but in the end, he does get speared, and George Wolf continues his undefeated streak. And I think we're moving on to the tag team match now. Indeed we are. The finale of the Coastal Zone tag team match tonight. It was 1-on-1 coming in, and the Ring Generals defeated Devil May Care when Dean Waldorf defeats Stuntman by pinfall with a wheelbarrow bomb. Great debut night from the Ring Generals as they pick up the 2-1 victory in the Coastal Zone tag team contest, defeating Devil May Care. Good performance from Devil May Care. Both guys had solid performances in the singles matches. In fact, Stuntman managed to pick up the victory over Dean Waldorf. And also in this main event, not main event, but in the finale of the Coastal Zone tag team match, the Devil May Care had a good performance too. They were fast-paced. There was some quick grappling. They were trying to use their Devil May Care style, their reckless style. But unfortunately, having both wrestled earlier tonight, they were a little tired. And, with that high-octane style, it's very hard to keep it up all night long. And it gave Dean the opportunity to really shine in this match and lock in those submission holds. Managed to work down something like that. Managed to work down Stuntman's left leg. Just manages to stretch it out a bit. Stuntman's working on one leg about halfway through the match, and he just, you can't keep up that style after working for so long at such a pace, so they ended up losing the match. But good performance from all around, and the Ring Generals are here. They want the tag team title shot. I can now confirm that next month at Super Showdown, we're going to have another Coastal Zone tag team match, but this time it is for the Tag Team Championships, as the Dynamite Express are going to be taking on the Ring Generals for the tag titles in a Coastal Zone tag team match. Hype. As we are ready to move into our main event of the evening, Giant Brody comes down with his title around his shoulder like it's tiny. It's like, imagine like Big Show with the title back in when he had it in like 2011, the World Heavyweight title. Or even actually go further back. Go back to like the one that always strikes me is when Kane and Big Show in like 05 or 4 had the World Tag Team titles and they just looked tiny across their shoulders. Imagine that with Giant Brody. He just comes down, he's got this tiny little title across his shoulder. He's just a scary man. He's been on a dominant streak over the last year. One loss in his entire, across all of the promotions he works for. He's only lost once over the last year, and it's against Island Boy Apollo, who was in the Ripcord Invitational last year in the finals. He's just on a tear. And Island Boy Apollo comes down. It's his usual party entrance. The fiesta continues as the confetti rains from the sky. He comes down. He's not afraid. He's not abashed. He hasn't been struck by his title defeat in December. He is hyped up and ready, because remember those words that he gave us back last January when he first had to take on Giant Brody. It doesn't matter how many people tell Island Boy it's impossible. He's been told that for too long and proven it wrong on every single occasion. If a mountain is there, it is made to be climbed, and monsters are made to be slain. And Island Boy comes into this match with as much energy and as much vigor as he would any other match. It doesn't matter if it's Giant Brody. It doesn't matter if it's an unbeatable opponent. Island Boy will try his damnedest, because that title belongs to him. Can he reclaim the Mid-Atlantic Regional title? What? Oh, okay. Sure. I wonder how long that's been waiting. There you go. He's now a man of the people. And the main event of the evening gets a 43D as Island Boy Apollo defeats Giant Brody in 11 minutes and 47 seconds by pinfall with an Island Driver. Just a back and forth brawl. Literally, this entire match is punches. Full out fucking Memphis style. I was like forgetting the town then. I was like, I know this town. It's full on Memphis style. Bell rings, punches. Goes to the outside, punches. Goes into the crowd, punches. Back in the ring, punches. Nothing but punches the entire time. About 2 minutes in, Island Boy tries to lift Giant Brody up for the Island Driver, which I considered, which in my mind is a brain buster. Tries to lift him, can't do it. Just too much. Giant Brody's just too heavy. More punches. Big clubbing blows from Giant Brody as he knocks Island Boy down. But Island Boy just gets up. He will not stay down as Giant Brody gets him in the corner. Big slap to the chest. Leaves red marks all over Island Boy's chest. Island Boy just runs out of the corner. Energetic as you like. Big lariat. The big man is down. More punches. Kicks. Punches and kicks. Thrown on the ropes. Giant Brody. Lariat. Island Boy is down. Island Boy just fires up again. Goes for the Island Driver again. Just too heavy. Can't do it. So he forearms Brody. Brody just no-sells it. Forearms Brody. Brody no-sells it. Another forearm. Brody's like, nah. Island Boy gets up on the rope. Jumping elbow from the top rope to Brody standing up. Brody still won't fall. So Island Boy goes to another rope and does another flying elbow to Brody, to a standing Brody. Brody still won't fall. So Island Boy Apollo has to go up to the third turnbuckle and hit a flying drop kick to Brody. And finally Brody falls. Island Boy hypes up. Island Driver, and Island Boy Apollo becomes only the 4th person, I believe, to win the Mid-Atlantic Regional Championship on more than one occasion. He has reclaimed his title, the crowd goes wild, the confetti falls again, and Island Boy Apollo for the 2nd time has slain the giant. It is a happy ending to a happy show, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series, subscribe if you haven't already. If you really enjoyed the episode and feeling especially generous, link to my Patreon is in the description if you want to have a creative input on the series. First place I tend to go is my Twitter, and a link to that is also in the description. I've now uploaded a couple of videos of this series, and I'd like to thank you all for your support. It's been wonderful. It's been great to be back recording and uploading TEW, and the support that I've been getting has been absolutely amazing. So please continue to comment and talk about the series. Every time I get a comment, I love reading it and seeing if I can respond to it in any way. You guys are awesome. I hope you continue to support me. I hope you will join me next time for Super Showdown! Coastal Zone Tag Team match as the Ring Generals look to claim the tag team titles off of the Dynamite Express, who are obviously in their midst of their last tag team title reign. They have promised to disband once this title reign is over. Will it be next episode? Find out. Join me then, and if you do, I'll see you guys then.